want to serve more home-cooked meals, but tight schedules just leave you with no time to spare, I'm here to show you how having a few essential tools in your kitchen can help you immensely in cutting down the time that you use to prepare meals. First, I'm going to show you knives. I have a couple of knives here. This is one of my favorite tools in the kitchen. It is my 10-inch chef knife. It fits comfortably in my hand. I hold it this way. I hold it by the heel, and my thumb and forefinger right there, grip it softly, and then I can use it for chopping and the drawing motion and the rocking motion, which I will illustrate later. Another knife that I use quite a bit, this is the one that I come to time and time again when I'm chopping and mincing and preparing any meal in the kitchen, and that's my 8-inch chef knife. It is smaller, fits really good in my hand. It's got a nice strong heel for crushing garlic cloves or chopping carrots. That's another one of my favorites. Another favorite is my little handy dandy paring knife. It is just right to fit in my hand. I got this one actually from a restaurant supply place. It will serve you well for years and years and years if you keep it sharp. Take your knife in your hand comfortably, put it up against the steel at a 45-degree angle. Then adjust that just a little up to about maybe a 20-degree angle and draw it towards you. Repeat on the other side. Doing this action once or twice before you start to chop keeps your knives serving you well for years to come. When transporting a knife, you want to make sure that you hold it by your side. Don't hold it in front of you. You don't want to accidentally catch anybody that you might be walking by. When you go to give it to someone, make sure that you hold it by the blade and give them the handle first. Set that down on the table and then let go of the blade. Let them have control of that blade so that they don't cut themselves and they're not grabbing any kind of sharp object. When washing your knife, make sure that you don't leave it in a dishpan full of soapy water. Anybody could come along and reach into the water and grab the blade of that knife. So when you want to make sure that your knife is good and clean, wash it right then. When setting your knives on the table, make sure that you don't get it very close to the edge. Make sure that it's well in on the counter so that it doesn't fall off. And if it does fall off, make sure that you don't try and grab that knife, because if you try and grab that knife, you're gonna 9 times out of 10 get the blade in your hand. So just let it fall and then pick it up. Okay, we've got our onion here, and we have this root end here which holds everything together. So we're going to cut off this end very closely, not really closely, but we want it held together a little bit. And then we just want to cut the other end clear off. And then we'll cut this in half. So we've got our flat surface. Get rid of the peelings on those. That works really nicely and quickly. There's one half. And there's 2 halves right there. All right. We have 2 nicely peeled onions. And with onions, you always want to work quickly, because if they're very strong, you cannot see very well. And you got to make sure that you get those fingers away from the knife, and make sure that you use that claw motion again with your thumb, and you hold it as such. Make sure that you've got your knuckles out there and your fingers are curled back so that you don't get them. Actually, I'm going to do it. Let's see. Yes, this way. Actually, what I do is I first start with a drawing motion, and I come this way with my knife. Draw it a little bit back towards myself. not getting all the way to the root end here, because that's what holds it together. Okay, and then we get it this way, and we've got this flat surface here, and we go horizontally. It's a little tricky, but you can do it. If you have a big enough onion, you can do another horizontal cut, but we're not going to do that because we want some fairly large onions, but you choose that when you make your cuts. And so you just take your locomotion motion again, like the railroad tracks, and cut through there. And there you have some nice diced onions in just a matter of seconds again. There, all ready to drop in your stew or in your casserole or saute chopped onions. There you go. All right, here I'm going to take this clove of garlic and I'm going to mince it quickly for you. I've got it separated from the head, and I've got the curled side down on my cutting board. I'm going to take the flat blade of my chef's knife. I'm going to lay that on top of there, and I'm going to give it a good whack. And that just smashes that garlic, releases some of the juices, but it makes it easier for you to get that peeling off. Okay, then we've got our peeled garlic there. And you've got your fingers here, and you've got a nice sharp knife there, and we want to avoid getting our fingers close to that blade as much as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hold it with that little claw motion again, just with my fingernails, and I'm going to cut off some planks. And it looks like I got some skin in there. But then I'll pile these all up in a pile, and just not use my other hands this time, but just kind of helter-skelter go through. We'll get that skin out of there. Go through my garlic and mince it. Garlic is something that mincing, we can add it to a lot of stir-fried dishes. Whatever you like, salsa, and then you scoop it back up, scrape off the knife, get a nice little pile there again, and chop again. And in not very much time at all, a couple of seconds, you've got some nice minced garlic there. All right, okay. I'm going to show you how to chop a pepper. Okay, this pepper kind of wants to roll around a little bit, and so and to get rid of that, we're just going to stand it up on end like that and cut off the cheeks. So we'll just go down, turn it around. Oops. Got that one a little bit too much. So we have a pepper here, and it's got a round bottom on that, and it doesn't like to stay still. So we're going to get you a nice flat surface to work on. And so how we do that is we get our biggest knife in a proportion to the pepper, and we're going to press that down on that pepper, and then just draw that out. And so that cuts off your curled portion, and you can use that in another dice. But if you want nice julienne strips, then you can take the tip of your knife and then use a drawing motion and just draw it back as such. Then you'll have nice julienne strips of pepper, all the while holding the vegetable with that claw grip. And then to dice it, you'll just get them all up into a nice neat little pile, as much as you can, and use that locomotion action again, and then just rock and dice your pepper. And there you have nice diced peppers for your salsa or your casserole or roasted vegetables or whatever. There we go. All right. I think we'll show you one more with the celery. And this is just kind of the rocking motion again. I'm going to illustrate how you hold this as well. You'll take your thumb and put it on the celery, and you'll just kind of set your fingers on the fruit, the vegetable, celery, whatever, in a claw motion. Okay, you want to, this is going to protect your fingers right here. Your thumb is on the celery, your pinky's tucked under. Okay, and then you can put your knife right up against your knuckle and kind of gauge the width of your vegetable that way. And then as you go back along the celery, just move your thumb back. But this, keeping your holding the celery this way, keeps your fingers out of the way so that you keep all your fingers and you can live to chop another day. So, and then you just can use your rocking motion again. All the while you're keeping your fingers out of the way of the knife. And as you practice, you'll get much quicker at this, and it will save you so much time. See, there we go, we have our celery.